We have breaking news this morning of a robbery and stabbing at the Loaf and Jug on Mount Rushmore Road, and we're going to go to Kendall Bartley right now with all the details. Good morning, Kendall.
Good morning, Anya. That's right. I'm here in front of the Loaf and Jug on Mount Rushmore Road. I'm now joined with Brendan Medina from the Rapid City Police Department. So, Brendan,
Rapid City Police Department is declaring 23-year-old Saul Crow as Rapid City's most wanted fugitive. Crow is wanted by local and federal authorities in connection to a pair of firearm-related offenses that have occurred in the last 2 months. Most recently, the Pennington County Special Response Team surrounded a mobile home in the Star Village neighborhood on Friday, with Crow believed to be inside, but when authorities entered the home, he wasn't there. Rapid City Police want to remind the public that the $2,000 reward for information leading directly to Crow's arrest still stands. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact police immediately by either calling Detective Ryan Gephardt at 394-4134, or you can send an anonymous tip by texting RCPD and the information to tip 411. That's 847-411. And there are new developments in the arrest of 2 University of South Dakota football players accused in a sexual assault case. Court documents reveal the initial complaint against Danny Rambo and Dale Williamson was filed by someone other than the victim. Head football coach Bob Nielsen was informed anonymously of the incident. Nielsen and athletic officials went to the university, who then went to the Vermilion Police Department, whose officers were able to locate the victim and speak with her. She told police that Rambo and Williamson tried to commit non-consensual sex acts with her while she was at the football player's house on October 22nd. The victim says she repeatedly tried to get Rambo and Williamson to leave the room. Alcohol was not a factor. Yesterday, USD Dean of Students Kim Grieve sat down with our Sioux Falls sister station to discuss what's next for the university after the players were suspended from the team but not from classes. She says the situation is quite disturbing and the university is conducting its own investigation. And a person was sent to the hospital with serious injuries following a motor vehicle collision in southwest Rapid City on Tuesday night. Around 8:30, the Rapid City Fire Department was dispatched to the intersection of Dunsmore Road and Sheridan Lake Road for the crash. According to the department's Twitter account, a person was trapped as a result of the crash. Firefighters blocked off access to both streets while crews worked to help the victim investigate and clear the scene. South Dakota Highway Patrol spokesman Tony Mangan confirmed to NewsCenter1 that a person suffered serious injuries in the crash. The circumstances leading up to the crash are unknown at this time, and the crash is still under investigation. Canada says its Keystone Pipeline has leaked an estimated 210,000 gallons of oil in Marshall County in northeastern South Dakota. The company said that crews shut down the pipeline yesterday morning after a drop in pressure was detected, resulting from an oil leak that's under investigation. The section of pipe in Marshall County has been isolated, and the company says emergency response procedures were activated. Brian Walsh, an environmental scientist manager at the South Dakota Department of Environment and Natural Resources, says officials don't believe the leak has affected any surface water bodies or threatened any drinking water systems. TransCanada expects the pipeline to remain shut down as the company responds to the leak. The Keystone Pipeline is part of a 2,600-mile system that also is to include the proposed Keystone XL pipeline, which is the subject of a Nebraska Commission ruling to be announced on Monday. President Donald Trump issued the long-delayed project a federal permit in March. The South Dakota ballot question campaign shopping causes before voters are rushing to collect enough signatures to get on the 2018 ballot as petitioning nears an end. Initiative groups face a Monday deadline to turn in thousands of names each to the Secretary of State. Volunteers and paid circulators are working on issues ranging from legislative redistricting to establishing open primary elections. Plans to loosen marijuana laws, cap the price state agencies pay for prescription drugs, and ban out-of-state contributions for ballot questions are also among the dozen measures approved for petitioning. Supporters of a government ethics constitutional amendment have already turned in signatures for their measure. Initiated measures needed nearly 14,000 valid signatures, while constitutional amendments require almost 28,000 names. Welcome back. 5 West River school districts are among 11 statewide that a state board says are violating teacher pay rules. The South Dakota Finance Accountability Board says the new Underwood and Wall school districts are among those that violated the rules imposed after the legislature approved a half-cent sales tax to increase the teacher funds. Other West River districts in violation include Faith, White River, and Jones County. The board did note that none of the districts intentionally avoided raising teacher pay. The affected districts have until February 1st, 2018 to increase pay or risk losing up to half of their new funding. All right, thanks, Andrew. And the Republican tax reform bill signed into law last month cuts corporate taxes by 14%, meaning that regional electric and gas utilities could see a windfall of cash this year. But public utility authorities are watching the money to make sure energy consumers get their cut. The South Dakota Public Utilities Commission has set a February 1st deadline for utility companies to submit reports on how the new tax law will affect their bottom lines. Commission Chairperson Christy Fegan said that if companies receive a tax reduction, the savings should go to their customers. After submitting reports on how the tax savings will affect their bottom lines, the PUC will work with companies on how to use the savings, with options including reducing customer rates or upgrading existing infrastructure. Regulators and legislators alike want to make sure that consumers, not shareholders, are the primary beneficiaries of the tax savings. And it's been 2 months since Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, and the U.S. territory is still struggling to recover. Many Puerto Ricans still live without electricity or clean running water. NBC's Tammy Lettner has more. And in Washington, we may hear from former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort for the first time today, since he was charged with a dozen counts of money laundering and tax evasion. The White House says that has nothing to do with the president, his campaign, or alleged collusion with Russia, but a guilty plea by a little-known campaign advisor is raising questions about where this investigation goes next. NBC's Tracy Potts has more from Capitol Hill. And today, veterans and their families in the Black Hills can take advantage of open houses that aim to educate veterans about the benefits of the VA. Families looking for answers about veteran health care and cemetery services can attend sessions at the VA facilities in Hot Springs and Fort Meade. VA officials say the services are available to any veteran who has served in the armed forces at home or abroad. Welcome back. Well, every other week, NewsCenter1 and First Interstate Bank team up to provide a $500 grant to outstanding local educators for classroom expenses that might otherwise come out of pocket. This week's grant winner is Angela Pickett, a teacher at Grandview Elementary School. Pickett, who was nominated by her husband, teaches 3rd through 5th grade behavior special education. All right, thanks, Andrew. And United Way of the Black Hills exceeded their fundraising goal, continuing their support to 55 local nonprofit agencies. From September to December of 2017, companies and individuals from all over the Black Hills came together to raise $2,317,000. And with the help of the anonymous $100,000 match, all donations that came in before the 31st of December were doubled. In the last week of campaign, other anonymous donor came forward and offered to match all donations, helping United Way exceed their goal by raising $2,330,000. All donations raised during the 2017 campaign will be allocated to 55 local nonprofit agencies in the spring. Donations stay in the area where they are raised to provide essential services and help solve community problems. The Ellsworth Air Force Base provided Thanksgiving meals to its airmen and families with generous donations from Operation Homefront. The nonprofit is providing around 280 meals to military families as a way of relieving stress and the burden from either financial hardships or having deployed family members overseas. Each meal included all the non-perishables in a traditional Thanksgiving meal, as well as a $25 gift card to Walmart to pay for their meat of choice. And the historic Homestake Opera House in Lead that survived a theater fire in 1984 has big plans in store for 2018. A long-awaited restoration of the theater is underway, and this Sunday, the Black Hills Symphony Chamber Orchestra will host a huge concert in support of the project ahead. NewsCenter1's Natasha Akery is live with some more details. Hey there, Natasha.
Yes, good morning, Anya. There are big plans in store here at the historic Homestake Opera House for 2018.
And welcome back to NewsCenter1 Today. Like we said, it is Pet of the Week time with Jerry from the Humane Society of the Black Hills, and we get another puppy today, Jerry.
Yeah.
Welcome back to NewsCenter1 Today. Well, the holidays are a prime time for family get-togethers. Gatherings like these also give families, of course, an opportunity for important conversations, one that may be uncomfortable but necessary, like what kind of care would you want if you were too ill or injured to make decisions. And this morning, Dr. Andrea Beyer from Regional Health Hospice and Healthcare is here this morning to join us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.